Hi, you're Bonnie, correct?
Hi, yes.
Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good, you too. Sit on down if you'd like. I forgot to ask, would you like a cup of coffee or something?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
Thanks.
sure. I've actually got a cup already made for you. I wasn't sure whether you like coffee or not, but there you go.
It's kind of chilly
It's
outside.
yeah. Oh, it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of the season, you know.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cold means holidays. Holidays mean Thanksgiving and Christmas. You ready for that?
Yeah. Well, I pretty much have to be. I'm head chef downtown, so I work in the food industry, so it has to be one of those things that I definitely have to be ready for.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming.
Okay.
The first thing that I like to do with any client that comes in to see me is start off on a positive note. I always like to say that the first step in solving any problem is admitting that there is a problem. I mean, some less serious than others, but everybody has times in their lives when they need a little help, an ear to talk to, and I just think that says a lot about a person when they can admit that there's something wrong and aren't afraid to reach out for help. That says a lot about you as a person. It says a lot about the fact that you're self-aware, and when you just can't handle things on your own. Sometimes you need a little bit of help.
Right.
So I always like to start that off on a positive note by commending you as the client for coming in to see me today.
Okay.
Okay. I also want you to feel free to be able to talk to me about whatever it is that you feel whatever problems you're having. I want you to be as open with me as you feel you want to be, or as you can be. Think of this place, this room, me, as your guilt-free zone, your judgment-free zone. I'm not going to judge you for anything that you might say to me. I don't want to feel guilty about anything. The whole purpose of you being here is for us to delve into whatever situation is bothering you and help you to be able to resolve that. Kind of maybe even help to reveal to you some skills or strengths that you might have that might help you through it that you aren't aware of. Okay. The only exception to that confidentiality, which is the that makes it easier for you to be able to talk to me, would be is if you had revealed to me in any way that you're planning on hurting yourself or somebody else. Okay. If that were the case, then I would be obligated to have to report that to the proper authorities. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So if you're not planning on doing any of that, just feel free. Well,
we're not that severe.
Right. Okay. Yes. Good. Well, just feel free to just open up to me and talk to me about whatever it is that you might feel you need to get off your chest, whatever you might want to talk to me about. Okay? Okay. Well, with that in mind, I do have some information here from your intake paperwork that you gave me, that you filled out before we met. So I know a little bit about you. But with that in mind, why don't you just go ahead and give me some kind of idea of what brings you to see me today?
Well, kind of feeling a little overwhelmed with the work and home situation.
Okay. Well, what do you mean by overwhelmed? What does that imply? Can you give me a little more information?
Well, I have two small children, and they're preteens. They're not really, helping out with the house chores or whatnot and everything. I have, like I said, I'm a head chef at one of the restaurants downtown, and I have very large load for me at work. I'm there a lot. I'm not at home that much, and my kids, they usually have chores that they have to do, but they're just not doing them.
Okay, they're not doing their chores, and how does that how is that a problem? How is that a problem for you? Why is that that's one of the reasons obviously you're here to see me.
Correct.
Okay, and what is it that you're wanting to get out of this session? What is it with them not doing the chores that bothers you? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Well, I really don't have much time to spend with them, and I don't have, I'm, I'm usually still asleep when they get up to go to work or go to school, and I don't really see them a whole lot, except for at night when I come home from work. By that time, I'm really tired. I, kind of have a little bit of an attitude from work and everything, and because I'm tired and everything, I kind of tend to get a little grumpy with the kids because I get home and they haven't gotten done what I've asked them to do, the chores or whatnot. They're not having the dishes done, putting the laundry away or anything like that. It's just these are small tasks. They're at home for a large amount of the time after they get out of school, and they have the ability to actually help me with these things, but they're just not doing them.
Okay.
So.
And what would them getting those things done around the house? What would that do? How would that help you? How would that change? How would that help you?
It would make it a lot easier. It make things a little bit easier for them and for me. I would have more time to spend with them, that kind of thing, and be a little bit more less grumpier, so to speak. Have a little bit more cooperation with them, and they would, cooperate a little bit more with me, and that's pretty much.
Okay, yeah. And so, how do you feel that you said it would make you a little less grumpier? Okay, what does that entail? What do you mean a little less grumpier? And how would them getting these things done make you a little less grumpier?
Okay, well, I sometimes tend to lash out at them.
Right.
And I ask them specifically to do certain things, and they, somewhat make it very hard for me to be the mom that I want to be.
Okay, mom that you want to be. Okay, what does that mean, the mom that you want to be? What kind of mom is it that you want to be?
Well, I want to be the mom that can get up and make them breakfast, that can spend time with them, talk about their day, talk about what kind of teachers they're going to see that day, talk about the chores that I have lined up for them and how I would like for them to make sure that they get them done. Spend more quality time with them and do things with them, that kind of thing, because, family is kind of important, and I really, really want to, get back to the whole family thing,
The family dynamic, what's the word, bonding time. It sounds like that's really important to you, and that's not a situation, and that's not something that you're being able to find the time to do because of the extra work that you're having to handle at home.
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Pretty much,
saying?
Yeah.
How do you think these changes would affect? I heard you talk about how it would help you be less grumpier and stuff like that. How do you think it would affect your kids? How do you think that extra time would affect your children that you would have with them?
Right. If
I mean, how do you feel that the them cooperating and you not being as grumpy as you say that you are? How do you think that would affect them? That change in your attitude. How do you think that would affect them?
Well, it would
affect the situation.
It would allow them to be a little bit more open with me about their situations and any things that they may have.
Because they'd be calmer.
They'd be a little bit calmer. They'd be more relaxed, and they wouldn't be so uptight all the time, and I wouldn't be uptight and everything. So with them,
right.
Just it would make them kind of feel like I could be there for them a little bit more than someone they can count on, I guess.
Okay, so that would help your the fact that you'd be calmer would help them to be calmer.
Yeah.
And then you guys would be able to communicate better, right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking that this cooperation factor that you're hoping to achieve through getting them to do the chores and things like that would help you to be more relaxed, allow you more time to be able to spend with on yourself as well as them. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense, and that's understandable. That workload is definitely going to be something that can be very overwhelming, and you're just looking for a little cooperation, right?
Yeah.
You're just looking for a little bit of a family dynamic to help you be able to spend more time with your family in a more of a family-oriented way, instead of you just being in and out all the time and never having any time with them.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. That's a real good. Yeah. I understand that. And okay. It's definitely a good goal to be reaching for. And so let me get an idea here. I'd like to ask you a question. I want to get some kind of an idea on how severe this problem is, at least in your mind.
Okay.
Okay. If you could give this problem a number, okay, give it on a number scale from say 1 to 10. Say the 1 being just a minor inconvenience, nothing really terrible, and number 10 being the worst problem you've ever had in your life. Okay, what number would you give it?
Well, I'd probably give it, I would say between a 4 and a 5, maybe.
Between a 4 and a 5. So that's kind of a medium number, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you give it that? Why would you give it a 5?
Well, it's not nothing earth-shattering in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
It's just, it's just a little bit unmanageable.
Okay.
That's the word, unmanageable. There are things out there that I can be doing. I am just so tired that I obviously cannot think of them.
Right.
And that would be the reason why I'm here.
As far as the finding out that trying to make the
situation
manage
better
with your kids better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just needed a fresh set of ears.
Yeah.
Right? You needed a different perspective. You needed somebody to come in and just be able to look at the situation from a fresh set of eyes.
Right.
Somebody who's not really involved in the situation. That you decided to come get some help and go, hey, try to get somebody. Hey, can you help me here? You give me some advice. Give me something I'm not seeing.
Right.
That sort of thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to ask you something here real quick. You said that you were a head chef at a head chef at a restaurant, right?
Yes.
So you have some kind of training, some professional training?
Yes, I have a culinary degree.
You have a culinary degree?
Yes.
Okay. So that means that you're very you had to, if you're a college student, you graduated.
Right.
Right. So you have organizational skills and that sort of stuff that you had to have when you were when you were going through school. Right?
Yes.
Well, that says a lot. That says a lot about you as a person, that you have those organizational skills. But just like anybody, no matter how organized you are, every once in a while you're gonna get flustered. Things are gonna get away from.
Right.
Right. Just like anybody, things are gonna get away from you. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said that I just want to let you know that we're going to try to work with those skills.
Okay.
That you have those organizational skills to try and help you to find a way to help coordinate some organization in your house and try to free up some more time for you.
Okay.
Okay. Now you said that that your problem was not an earth-shattering problem. And you were just looking for a little bit of coordination, right?
Yes.
Okay. With that in mind, I know that we were talking about your organizational skills and that sort of stuff. So I'm sure there's been some things that you've tried in the past to try and get the kids to be a little bit more cooperative with you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, can
Yeah.
you give me some kind of an idea on some things that you might have tried in the past that
Right.
that to try and get them to be a little bit more motivated?
Well, when they were little, I kind of gave them a little bit of a reward as far as like candy or something like that. Now they're getting older, the whole thing with the money thing is happening, and they're all about, having money and everything
Money's
else.
really important to kids that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I started giving them an allowance, and hoping that, they could use that allowance to, do whatever they wanted to. But, I kind of, you know, gave them the allowance and wanted to teach them also with that allowance that, if you do what I'm asking you to do, if you do the chores that I'm asking you to do, you get this allowance. And this allowance means that you're helping mom out.
Okay,
and it was really good.
It was working for a while.
Yeah, it lasted for about a month. It was pretty good. Yeah.
So it was working for a while. So what was it? Give me an idea on how it changed the situation. And you said it worked pretty good for a while. So give me some kind. Can you give me an idea on how
when it was working? My kids were I'd come home and the dishes would be done and the trash would be taken out. The dogs would be parked.
Parked. It'd be nice if you could just park them, huh? Yeah. Put them in a spot and just leave them there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dogs would be taken out. The dogs would be fed. The laundry would be done. And if it wasn't done, it would at least be started.
Right.
And that kind of thing. And there's actually been time in that time frame when I came home and I had dinner waiting on me. The kids had dinner waiting.
Wow,
on
that
me.
sounds like something you really I see that surprise in your face that you were thinking about that situation.
Yeah.
It seemed like something that it was really enjoyable for you. That made you really happy.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of motivated them a little bit.
It
right?
did.
And
it
so
did.
it's obvious
yes.
that changed your attitude a lot. You
It
weren't
did.
as tense and as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I was a little bit more relaxed, and back then I was just I was a little bit more understanding and everything else, and it was a really nice time.
Well, that's good. Give me some other ideas. How did that change? You said it lasted for about a month with you, right? What else about that time changed your attitude? Made you changed your attitude? What else happened during that time that made things easier for you?
Well, I was able to spend a little bit more time with them because I wasn't as tired all the time because I wasn't up all night. I mean, like I said, I am not awake when they're up for school. Mm-hmm. They're usually gone before I even get up to go to work, and I don't hardly see them. So, when they were getting the chores done and everything, I was able to actually, kind of spend a little more time with them when I got home at night because I wasn't as tired and I was able to get a full night's rest and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that felt good, huh?
Yeah, it did.
It left you more time really in the morning to be able to spend time with them and for yourself too, right?
Yeah, spending time for me was really important.
Yeah, I bet it is. You need that time. I know exactly how you feel because I try to take the bus wherever I go. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people don't think that that's a real convenient way to go, mm-hmm. But to me, that gives me that time to be able to spend on me, whether mm-hmm. it's a book, whether it's reading the newspaper, whether it is doing something that I want to do.
Reading the newspaper,
you can just sit there,
the
concept, yeah, just sitting there and let somebody else do the work. If it's only for an hour, and so I can understand completely that feeling, then you get to work and you're a little more rejuvenated. You're a little bit more in a better mood mm-hmm. because you're able to concentrate on you. And that's what was going on with you, right?
Right.
And that's great. I bet you it made you feel really good, didn't it?
Yeah, it did kind of make me feel good.
Well, good. And how did it affect your kids? How did that change your relationship with your children? that change in, with the chores being done and that free time that it allowed you? Did you see a change in them?
Yeah, I did. My daughter, she was a little bit more happy-go-lucky kind of person. She was a little bit more concentrated on her studies. She spent a little bit more time, uh, looking at recipes and stuff like that. And my son, he actually had time where he was spending a little bit more time, a little bit more time with me, hanging out in front of the TV or whatever.
So it allowed you more time to spend with them.
Yeah.
And then with you.
Not necessarily with them together, but also with them individually as well.
Right. And that's what you're looking for. That's the whole thing you're trying to accomplish.
Yes.
Is more time for yourself as well as your kids.
Yes.
Right?
Totally got away from that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And you said, I'm going to go backtrack just a little bit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You said that that it worked for a while, for about a month, and so then things kind of took a turn, and things ended up going back to where they were.
Yeah.
Can you give me an idea on why that happened, or what happened there?
I kind of blame myself in a way, just because of the fact that, there for a while it was really good and everything, and I'd come home, I'd see maybe one or two things that weren't getting done, and I would go ahead and just, okay, well, just gave in kind of thing, and did it myself, and just kind of dismissed it and that kind of thing. And then it kind of snowballed, and they would come and ask me. They'd still come and ask me for their allowance, but when I tried to tell them no, it wasn't done, then they'd come back at me and say, "Well, you already did it. Never gave me the time to actually do it myself." So I kind of looked at that and thought, okay, well, maybe they're right. I did kind of go ahead and do it, and didn't automatically give them the time to do it. So I just, went ahead and gave in and gave them their allowance and whatnot. And then after a while, they just started, getting to the point where they were slacking off, a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and it snowballed, and it kind of got out of hand. So now I'm at the point where it's like I'm pretty much doing it all again, and it's starting to get back to the way it was. I'm getting this snappy, and we're getting a little, impatient with each other, and getting a little lashing out towards them from me, and they're just, it just got out of hand.
Okay. So ultimately, you were using the allowance to not to kind of motivate them to
do the
thing.
But also, like I said, I kind of blame myself in some ways, and kind of felt like I was sending the wrong message.
You thought you were sending the wrong message. What do you mean? What do you mean you felt like that? So when things started going awry and you started doing those chores, they started taking. You feel that they started kind of just expecting the allowance, and you said that you felt you were sending the wrong message.
Okay.
Okay. What was the message that you felt you were sending? The wrong message you thought you were sending?
Well, I originally wanted to also do the allowance to help teach them, kind of the whole thing with, what it's like to actually work in the world. You know, you have to do something in order to get the paycheck. And I was trying to teach them, that kind of a concept with it. And now I feel like I'm sending the wrong message, because I'm letting them, take the money and not do the actual work. And I'm pretty much telling them, giving them the message that it's okay not to have to work and you can still get paid, kind of thing. And I just kind of feel like that's sending the wrong message, and I really don't want to send that message, but I'm just so tired. And yeah.
Right. So you were using the allowance not only to try and motivate your children to help you around the house, but but also to try and use it as a way to help inspire in them a good work ethic, a healthy work ethic, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's
a good way to put it.
Okay, that's very admirable of you, and that says that you know that you care a lot about your kids. You care a lot about your kids' future.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get that motivation, but also teach them a good lesson at the same time, right?
Right. Yes. Yes.
Well, see, that's very. I mean, I completely understand. I mean, I know that I completely understand that and see where you're going with that. And like I said, you have, being a college student, I know that you're a career oriented person, obviously, because you wouldn't have gone to school if you didn't have some kind of a goal.
Right.
And you're trying to use those skills and skills and value skills and training to try and teach them those lessons that they're going to need when they get out in the real world, right?
Right.
Okay, and that's I can understand that. I mean, that's, like I said, that's very admirable of you as a parent, and so we're gonna definitely try to help you out with those skills. And I want to ask you along those lines. I want to ask you a question. I want you to try and use your imagination a little bit. Okay, we're gonna kind of role play a little. All right.
Okay.
All right, I want you to imagine that tonight, you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when you go to bed at night, after doing all the chores and the house and all that, and while you're asleep, a miracle happens.
Oh wow!
Happens, okay. Wow, getting excited about it.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay. Now you obviously don't know that the miracle has happened because you're sleeping.
Oh.
Right? You're sleeping. So you don't know that it's happened until you wake up.
Right.
Okay? You wake up in the morning. You sit up. You get out of bed. Tell me what's the first thing that you see that makes you realize that a miracle has happened. How are you feeling? I mean, well, first tell me what's the first thing that you see when you get out of bed that makes you realize that a miracle has happened.
Well, first thing I would see would be my kids, because they'd still be at home. I would have gotten a full night's rest and actually woken up and actually found that I'm up before they leave to go to school. And I'm actually able to actually spend time with them.
So your kids would be home?
Yes.
That would be the first thing you notice is your kids would be home. What would your kids be doing?
They'd probably be either finishing any homework that they didn't finish the night before, or they'd be eating breakfast or something like that.
Okay.
Or getting ready or getting dressed or whatever.
So your kids would be home. They'd be eating breakfast. What would you be doing?
I would probably get myself some coffee and try to have breakfast with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would you do when you were having breakfast with them? What would be going on?
Okay. I would probably talk to them about their day, talk to them about what classes they have, any academic or special classes they'd have in addition to their general studies. I'd talk about anything that they wanted to talk about that was fun and enjoyable,
So you'd have time to be able to communicate with them.
Yeah.
Talking about the day, socialize, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That'd be great. How do you think? What do you think your kids would notice about the situation that a miracle had happened? What do you think they would notice about you?
Well, the first thing they probably notice is that I'm actually awake.
Okay.
They notice that I'm a little bit more in a better mood, a little bit more in a happier mood, because I actually got some good night's rest and I got some sleep, and I'm actually awake and wanting to spend time with them and wanting to actually, know about their day and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys, again, there would be that conversation going on.
Yeah.
You guys would have time to be able to just talk about your day and just kind of have that family bonding time before everybody went off and started their day, right?
Right. Yes.
Right. kind of seeing we're kind of seeing a pattern. We're kind of starting to see a pattern forming here, aren't we?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what else? What else would happen? You'd spend the time. Your kids would be up. You'd be up. You'd be having breakfast. You know, and you'd be having breakfast, talking about your day. So the kids have gone off to school now. So what would you be doing? What the miracles continue. What else is continuing? What else would you be doing?
I would probably get in the shower. I'd probably get myself ready to go to work and sit and read the newspaper because I normally don't get to do that. And I'd probably be able to maybe watch the news a little bit. I'd be able to get in the car, go to work, and actually stop at Starbucks and get myself a latte.
That'd be the.
I never have time to do that.
That would be the peak of your morning, huh?
I'd never have time to get a latte. I'd love to get a latte before I go to work because my head chefs, sometimes you have to have caffeine in order to actually not only keep up with them, but also just to communicate with them properly.
Right. I understand. I'll get to work sometimes and I'll be kind of, don't talk to me yet. I don't have enough caffeine in my blood. You know,
Exactly.
I'm not gonna understand what you're saying until I get a couple pots of coffee into me.
Yeah.
And then you're not gonna be able to talk to me for very long because I'm gonna be in the bathroom for an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. But so you would be having to take some time for yourself on your way to work.
Yes.
Okay. How would that the miracles continuing? How would that affect the rest of your day?
Well, by having the actual energy and, like I said, communication with my head chefs, my day would probably sail. It'd be sailing through my day because as the one thing that I have problems with at work is communicating with my chefs throughout the day. And if that miracle continued through into my school, into my work thing, man, my head chefs wouldn't know. I'd make their heads spin because I'd be on top of things left and right with them.
So you'd be in a better mood because of the fact that you got a good night's sleep. You'd be happier because of the fact that your communication in that bonding situation with your kids would be working out.
Yes.
And then you'd have time for yourself. You'd have time to be able to relax on your way to work, which would do domino effect, which would cause you to be more productive at work because of the fact that you have that time to be able to just, relax before you come to work.
Yes.
So it's kind of domino affecting. Everything's affecting everything else, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So then your day's over with. The miracle is still continuing. You get off of work. You come home. What happens? What's going on? The miracle's still going on.
When I get home, my kids, I've left, notes for them to what they need to do as far as chores and everything else, and they'd have it all done. I'd have dinner waiting, and if I didn't have dinner waiting, my son probably would have called and said, "Mom, can you pick up dinner on the way home?" I would have picked it up and brought it home, or I would have left something for my daughter to cook, whichever, and
What would be going on at home?
What would be
when you walk in the door, what would make you realize that the miracle was still going on? What would you see?
I'd probably see my son and daughter, happy and sitting in the front room watching a movie together or something like that because they'd have all their homework done, and I'd be able to just come in and have dinner with them or whatever, and be able to sit and watch a movie and
so what is it
have
about
a little bit more bonding time with
what
them.
would free up that time for you to be able to do all that? Because right now you're not having that time to do all that because they're not doing, according to what you told me, because you're not being able to do all that with them because there's all those things that they're not doing around the house that you need to do. So what would you see? What would be going on that would free up that time? What would cause
all the chores would be done.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have to do anything. when I came home.
Okay.
I wouldn't have to, I wouldn't be lashing out at them like I normally do. I'd be a little bit more happier with them, and I'd be able to give them hugs and spend more time with them instead of yelling at them. I'd be, I would be more, I'd be more willing to, uh, spend more time with my daughter because she's academically, competitive, and I'd be able to spend more time with her on her assignments, that kind of thing than I normally do because I normally don't get to because I'm too busy trying to do all these other things that they're not doing.
Right. So the miracle would consist of you coming home, seeing that everything was done that you asked them to do.
Mm-hmm.
You would see, you would have that time with your kids.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to come home and actually sit down and eat dinner with them.
Yeah.
Spend some quality time with them, right?
Yes.
So that's what you were wanting to do,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
that miracle would also want me to be home early with them and get out of work early so that I could actually be home with them to have actually more time with them.
Okay, and the miracle
yes.
would free up that extra time at work so you could get home early.
Yes.
What would cause that to happen?
Well, what would cause that to happen is my day would sail. I would be able to communicate with my head chefs so much more easier. They'd be able to get all their work done. All of my wait staff would be able to get all their work done, and I wouldn't have to stay behind to actually. I'd be able to delegate some things out to other people because they'd have more free time to do everything.
So you'd be more productive because you'd be in a better mood, and you'd be you'd be ready to go more physically,
yes.
and you'd be able to get things done faster, so you'd be able to get home earlier.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Wanted to make sure that I understood you there, but that's good. That's it. So it seems that the problem that you're dealing with right now, though you don't find it to be a severe problem, if it were fixed, it would change a lot of different things in your life that would improve your quality of life, not only for yourself but for your kids. Yes. And would also improve your relationship with your children. And
yes.
That's what you're wanting, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's understandable. I want to let you know that the things that you were trying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, let me make sure I understand. So far we've talked about the fact that you've come to see me today because you're needing some advice on how to help motivate your children to be more cooperative around the house.
Yes.
You've tried some things before that worked for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of snowballed. And you feel that they snowballed and went back to their old ways because of the fact that you were kind of pulling up the slack for them in areas that you were trying to motivate them to do in the first place.
Correct. Yes.
You thought that those little things that you were doing weren't causing much harm, but it was kind of getting them complacent into not doing them because they saw that you were going to make up for those things.
Right.
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 I can understand the need to help, and you don't seem to be someone who's against helping them, but you're trying to teach them a lesson on the importance of earning what you make,
mm-hmm.
right? That sort of thing.
Yes.
The allowance thing, that was the whole purpose of the allowance in the first place, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We mentioned earlier in our conversation that you're a college student and you have those organizational skills.
Yes.
And you're wanting to try to use those organizational skills to try and teach them to be more responsible, mm-hmm. learn the value of $1,
yes.
and that sort of thing,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Well, I have to commend, and I know that you just need a little bit of like I said before, the way I worded it was you needed a fresh set of eyes.
Yes.
Fresh set of ears to kind of give you a different perspective.
Yes.
So using those organizational skills and the fresh perspective that you came to me for, we're going to try to find a new way, a way to do things that you might not have thought of before.
Right.
Okay. I do have to commend you. I do like to commend you for for the fact that you, again, like I said before, for coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that. I hear the main points that I keep hearing over and over again is your desire to have a stronger interpersonal relationship with your kids.
Yes.
You're not wanting them to grow up not knowing you, who you are, because of the fact that you're never available to them.
Right.
And you feel that improving those the cooperative, I guess, but for lack of a better word, that cooperative cohesion that you're looking for will help improve their relationship, your relationship with them, as well as improve your overall, what's the word I'm thinking of? Your overall standard of living.
Yeah.
And as we were talking, you saw, I saw where you wanted to go with that, and that how you feel that through those changes, it's going to improve not just your relationship with your kids, but a lot of different things in your life.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, and like I said before, I'd like to commend you for, I see how strong that need for you to be a positive influence in your children's life is.
Right.
This brings up, when I think of your situation, it brings to mind a quote that I heard once from a I didn't hear him personally because the guy was around in the 1860s, so
Oh, okay.
Right, so I didn't hear him close. As a matter of fact, I heard it from a Criminal Minds episode. You ever watch Criminal Minds?
Uh-huh.
They always have those quotes at the beginning of the show. It has something that ties into whatever the show is about.
Yeah.
They used a quote from a man named Frank Clark, and I ended up looking up who he was. He's a politician back in the 1860s. And the quote he used was, "The most important thing that parents can teach their children is how to get along without them."
Oh, wow.
And that, to me, kind of exemplifies what you're trying to do, right?
Okay.
On top of using that allowance as a cooperative, a tool to get them to cooperate, you're also trying to teach them a lesson. Teach them how to appreciate the value of a hard day's work versus $1, right? And though, some people may think that, kind of offering them money to do things that they should want to do on their own is not the right message to send. But I don't think that that's true. I think that you have to go in steps. You get them to cooperate, and eventually you're going to see how that changes everything in the long run. Your attitude, your availability to them, and it's going to become a thing to where they're still going to want that allowance because they're still teenagers.
Yeah.
But it's going to be easier to get them to do it. You see?
Okay.
And they're going to want to do it after a while.
Okay.
I don't think it's real reasonable to assume that eventually they're going to go, "No, Mom, you keep that. You keep that money." No, I don't want it. They're going to still want that money.
Yeah.
Because they're growing up and they're trying to be able to go out and do things on their own every once in a while, and you need that money to do that, right?
Right.
But I think that through like I said, I think the allowance thing was a good idea.
Yes.
And eventually it's going to, as long as you find some way to keep them motivated to do it, it's eventually going to work out to get all those things that you were talking about that you wanted through your miracle.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can see, I can see how gradually that's going to change things. It's going to keep you in a better mood. It's going to give you the rest that you need. It's going to give you that personal time that you need. And it's also going to give you that time with your kids.
Okay.
Okay. So I had an idea that I'd like to see if you wouldn't mind trying.
Okay.
Okay. The whole purpose is, have you ever heard the old saying, "You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it"?
Yeah.
I went to a Catholic high school, and they used to use that saying all the time. It was, it's you can show kids what to do. You can show the camel where the water is, but you can't make them drink it. You can say, "Go ahead and do this." this is what I need done, this is what I need done, this is what I need done. But you're not necessarily going to get them to do it without the motivation behind it.
Right.
Right. So here's my idea. Obviously, with kids, you gotta get them interested in whatever it is that you're wanting them to do.
Right.
And I'm not being a parent, but being the fact that I was a kid once, kind of realized kids and fun go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to do something, try to make it entertaining for them.
Yeah, I can see that, yes.
Okay? So, unfortunately, people are saying, well, they should want to do it, and older people, back in my day, we just did it because, we were told to do it, and you don't, disobey your parents and all that. Yeah, I understand that. We've kind of gotten off track as far as that's concerned. But you need a little more motivation.
Right.
And I think eventually after you get them to do it, like I said before, it'll fall, all those things will fall into place.
Okay.
Okay? And so I was thinking that maybe you could try making it like a business for them. You want to teach them the value of $1 and also motivate them to do the things that they're supposed to do.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can go out and make flyers. What are your kids' names?
Samantha and Kyle.
Samantha and Kyle's. So most of the stuff that you want them to do is like a cleaning related kind of stuff around the house, right? Taking out the trash, doing the laundry, mopping the floors, vacuuming the dishes, vacuuming the floor, doing the dishes, not vacuuming the dishes and washing the floor. This is what I almost said. So make up a flyer. Kyle and Samantha's cleaning service. Give everything that you want them to do a monetary value. Now, this might change the allowance thing a little bit because of the fact that you're giving them a set allowance right now, right?
Yes, $50.
$50?
Yeah, $50 a week.
I think I might need to come to your house and do some.
I don't think I could afford it.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make up a flyer and say, make the bed this much, laundry this much, walk the dog this much, whatever it is, and give them $1.
Yeah.
Make it their business. Say, this is your business. This is the services you're going to be providing for me, and I'll pay you for whatever services that you do.
Right. Right.
And make them give each other titles, president, vice president, whatever you want to do.
That'd be funny.
And place it on there and check on them every night. But the thing about this is you're going to have to make sure you stick to your guns as far as this is concerned.
Okay.
But also, I think you had, I think your motives were in the right place when you were going out and doing that, because I know that you don't seem like a slave driver to me.
No.
You're willing to help out when helping out needs
right.
done, when they need to be helped out, right?
So, yeah.
But stick to your guns as far as this is concerned. If you come home and something's not done right away, don't go and do it immediately.
Right.
Give them the opportunity to get it done.
Right.
1 day, 2 days, get to 3 or 4 days, maybe you put a little bird in their ear and say, hey, payday's coming soon.
Right.
If you want, you want this, and if you want to continue to give them that $50, this is all on you. I'm just making the suggestion.
Right.
If you want to continue to give them the $50 every week, then place all the services. Make your list up to where if everything's done, that's what they get.
You
see what I'm saying?
Yes, that sounds good.
Make the bed if you got 5 things that you want them to do, price each thing at $10 a piece.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. However you want to do that.
Yeah. There
you can even make up some kind of a contract saying, I'm your customer, and Bonnie agreed to pay Samantha and Kyle this much for services. I'm hiring Samantha and Kyle's cleaning service to clean my house at $50 a week, and these are the services I'm paying for.
Okay.
And sign it. You
that's
sign
a good idea.
it. They sign it. You give them a contract. So if you
a
don't
good
pay
idea.
them 1 week and you say, "Ma, you didn't pay us," give me a contract. Don't make me drag you into small claims court or something. Don't make me put you in front of Judge Judy. Something like that. You're not listening to me. So, we you could do that. Okay, and that's just a suggestion. And I do think that the cooperation will come around.
Yeah.
Using the money thing, I understand the money thing shouldn't be the biggest factor that they should want to do stuff. But believe me, I was a single. I was brought up in a single parent household.
Oh,
And
okay.
my mom was a single mom. My father wasn't around.
Mhm.
And I understand teenagers and how hard it is to
Right.
get kids to do things.
Right.
But I also realized that as I got older, I began to appreciate her a lot more and began to appreciate a lot of the things that she did. And as I got older, I learned to be more cooperative in helping her to do things because she wasn't home a lot either. My mom was a career waitress, if there is such a thing. But
Okay.
she waited tables her whole life.
Oh, I understand that.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that eventually it'll get to the point to where they're going to be more cooperative with you.
I hope so. But I do like your ideas. I'm glad I came because you gave me some really good ideas.
Oh, good. And see, I think sometimes
I would have never thought of that.
See, I do think that sometimes
I would never thought of that.
Well, good. I'm glad it helped you. And I do think that sometimes, like I said before, before we got started, that it just takes a fresh set of eyes sometimes. It takes a fresh perspective. It takes a fresh perspective. That sometimes it can be the easiest idea in the world, but you're just so bound up and you're so frustrated and you're just I don't know what I'm gonna do, that you just even the easiest little things don't pop into your head, and you need to be able to just sit down with somebody every once in a while and just say, hey, give me a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's what you did.
Okay.
And like I said, you're a professional person. I know you had those organizational skills, and and now that you got that idea, I know that you can implement it. Because you're a very smart person, obviously.
Yeah.
College,
I'm not smart. I'm just saying that I'm
you're a college graduate.
Smart. Yes.
You're business smart, so that's why I'm using that business formula.
Oh,
that's why you're that's your expertise.
Yes.
And because of the fact that you were so flustered and all, and the miracle, we saw through the miracle how everything affected everything else. The cause and effect. Ever heard that old song by Joe Diffie, Third Rock from the Sun?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that a whole thing. One thing led to another thing, led to another thing. Of course, that ended up bad. But, that's how cause and effect works,
Yeah.
And you just needed that fresh set of eyes. And I thank you for having the foresight and the to be able to just realize when you needed a helping hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I really thank you for coming in. I hope that if you feel like you have to, that I would love to hear how it worked. I would love to hear how it worked. If you have the opportunity and you want to come back, please do. I'd really like to hear how it worked. You have my email and the card that you got on your way in.
Yes.
So if you just want to email me, that's fine. If you want to come back, that's fine too. But I do thank you for coming in, and I hope that whatever I did for you today, or coming and sitting with me today helped you.
It did. It really did. It gave me a fresh perspective, and I got the answers I was looking for because I was at a stalemate. I could not think of anything else to do.
Right. And it was obvious that those problems were, some people might, on the surface that might not seem like a serious problem, but as we delved into it, we saw how just a little bit of lack of cooperation affects all those other parts of your life.
Yes.
You weren't just that lack of sleep alone.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that it also affected your relationships.
Yeah.
So hopefully those little skills, that the little project, will motivate your kids to get back on the thing. But you got to remember to stick to your guns.
Yeah.
And not to give in to the things.
Yeah.
And just be calm about it. When give them some time to get it done. Don't walk in the door and see something not done if they're making the effort and so something doesn't get done, just make sure that, set a day for them to get paid.
Yeah.
And when that's not done, then when it's not done on those days, pay them for what they did.
Yeah.
And then just mention it afterwards. You don't have to be mad about it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you so much.
And please, if you feel like it, please come back. If you want to come back with the kids, or you're welcome to do that too.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.
Yep, you too.